The goal is to discover the truth since they are all simple to comprehend once they have been found. People cannot learn anything from us, all we can do is guide them while they seek it within. Not the heavens themselves, but the method to go there is revealed in the Bible. I have never encountered a person who was so illiterate that I couldn't pick up something. Measure what is measurable, and make measurable what is not so. I give infinite thanks to God, who has been pleased to make me the first observer of marvelous things. Who would restrict the human mind? Who would dare claim that we already know everything there is to know? Nature is unyielding and unalterable, and it doesn't care whether or not man can comprehend its secret motives or acts. The human mind is designed in such a way that any memory of something easily fades away unless it is aroused by visions of something operating upon it from without. The Milky Way is nothing more than a collection of countless stars that have been clustered together. In my opinion, while talking about natural issues, we should start with tests and demonstrations rather than the Bible. When people try to impose their religious beliefs on science under the guise of the Bible but don't feel obligated to accept reason and experiment, it irritates me. I've noticed that young men attend universities to pursue careers as titles, whether they be doctors, philosophers, or anything else. Many of them choose careers that are completely unsuited to their abilities, while others who have the potential to be very good at them are prevented from doing so by their daily obligations or their work. The person with the highest glance is the most highly distinguished, and the best way to elevate one's gaze is to turn over the big book of nature, which is the proper subject of philosophy. Even with a minimal amount of explanation, facts that initially seem impossible will emerge in their bare and unadorned beauty. We must assert that the number of squares equals the number of numbers. Making it a heresy to believe what is proven is undoubtedly detrimental to souls. Reason must take over when our senses fail. The universe is a vast book that is constantly available for our observation and contains philosophy. But one must first learn to read and understand the language used in the book's composition in order to fully understand it. In scientific matters, one person's humble reasoning is superior to the wisdom of 1,000. The sun still has the ability to ripen a cluster of grapes as if it were the only object in the universe, despite the planets orbiting it and being dependent on it. I would start my education with mathematics if I were starting over, as advised by Plato. I am under no obligation to think that the same God who gave us intelligence, sense, and reason also intended us to ignore their application. I am under no obligation to think that the same God who gave us intelligence, sense, and reason also intended us to ignore their application. You can only assist a man in discovering anything within himself, you cannot teach him anything. In scientific matters, one person's humble reasoning is superior to the wisdom of 1,000. The goal is to discover the truths because they are all simple to comprehend once they have been found. The magnificent book that is always in front of our eyes contains philosophy and nature. I'm talking about the universe, but we can't understand it until we master the written language and the symbols used to express it. Without the aid of triangles, circles, and other geometrical shapes, which are used as symbols throughout the text, it is impossible to understand a single word of it. Without these symbols, one would be lost in a dark maze. Even though there are numerous planets orbiting it and depending on it, the sun can nevertheless ripen a bunch of grapes as if it were the only object in the universe. Long experience has taught me this about the status of mankind with regard to issues that require thought. On the one hand, to know and understand a multitude of things renders men cautious in passing judgment upon anything new. On the other hand, the less people know and understand about them, the more positively they attempt to argue about them. There are those who reason well, but those who reason poorly outweigh them by a large margin. What, my dear Kepler, would you say to the learned present who, with the tenacity of an asp, have adamantly refused to look through the telescope? What can we conclude from this? Will we cry or will we laugh?